wondering why I'm shopping so much? क्योंकि 25 दिन में पैसा जो डबल होने वाला है. Hey folks, see Rachana, Ranade here, and I welcome you all to another interesting video on cryptocurrencies. I'm sure many of you might have seen this chart on how Bitcoin has performed in the past few months. Just after looking at this amazing moment, there are so many people who believe that अब मेरा भी 25 दिन में पैसा डबल होगा. Don't go behind this. First, learn. Once you are clear with the concepts, then only decide whether you're going to invest or not. A very, very, very important disclaimer. You can see so many comments which try to impersonate me, try to impersonate my channel, and they will ask you to follow them for some advice. Some numbers will also be given in these comments, and they will ask you to follow them on some Telegram channel or Instagram channel or on any other platform. Please be 100% sure that I don't give advice on any sort of cryptocurrencies, on any sort of stocks also for that matter. I don't have an advisory. Please ensure that you don't fall for all these fraudsters. So let's understand what is the meaning of cryptocurrency in the most simplified manner. So cryptocurrency is divided into two parts. One is cryptography and one is currency. First, let's try to understand what is cryptography. Cryptography is associated with the process of converting ordinary plain text into unintelligible text and vice versa. Unintelligible matlab which can't be understood. So it's the process of converting plain text into text which can't be easily understood. Okay, it is a method of storing and transmitting data in a particular form so that only those for whom it is intended can read and process it. Okay, see, the moment when you read this, that it is done in a particular way so that only that person to whom it is intended can read and understand it. Remember the movie Razi, in which Alia Bhatt used to make certain noises like this. Okay, from Pakistan. And then in India, there is a person who is listening to this voice. And then he understands, oh, she's communicating this to me. Okay, now anyone else on earth, if he would have heard that noise, he would not have understood that. But the sender knows what he means to say, and the receiver also knows what he or she needs to understand from it. That is actually cryptography. Okay, now let's understand the combined term, what is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency in simple words is nothing but digital form of cash. Okay, now let's take this example. Here we have A, let us say any person A, and here we have A is in India, and there is one more person B who is from USA. Now if A wants to send dollars to B in USA, can that person directly send dollars? No. He or she will have to first go to a bank. Okay, then bank is a third party who is involved, who will actually convert the rupees into dollars and then verify who is the sender, okay, who is the receiver, okay, we'll match certain things, we'll charge some money and then transfer the funds to B. Okay, so this transaction was possible only with the help of an intermediary, which was the bank here. Now let's try to understand if there was something like a digital form of currency which knows no barriers, panchi nadiya pavan ke joke, koi sarhad na inhe roke, something like that, a currency jisko sarhad na roke, it's nothing but a digital form of cash, right? So what could have happened, that Mr. A could have directly sent funds to B without any third party, and that is an example of cryptocurrency. So what are the advantages? No intermediary required, number one. Number two, no geographical barrier. Number three, because there is no intermediary as such, charges are also very less. Who is going to charge what? That we are going to cover in the subsequent part of the video, but charges are going to be very less. And number four, it's very fast. On an average, of course, different cryptocurrencies will have different timings, but it ranges as low as 4 seconds to as high for popular coins like 10 minutes. Okay, these are the advantages. What are the disadvantages then? Number one disadvantage is that if a wrong transfer is made, okay, then this person A cannot ask for the money back. Why? I'll tell you. Because let us say the account to whom the money was to be transferred was account number 645, and by mistake the person said 654. Now he does not know who is 654. That person does not know who is 654. No one knows who is 654. So once money is gone, You can't get it back if it is a wrong transfer. This could have happened if bank was there in between, because bank knows who is 654, right? That is a disadvantage, number one. And number two, because the senders and the receivers identity is not unveiled, unfortunately it is used for a lot of illegal activities through internet, which is many a times a part of internet which is known as dark web. But if you want to know more about this, what technology is used behind all these things, we're going to cover that in the next part of the video. Well, now let's understand whether cryptocurrency is really legal or illegal. There are two different things. One, cryptocurrency being legal, and one, cryptocurrency being allowed as a legal tender in India. Let's tackle both the problems. Number one, is it legal? Answer is yes. Why? On 6th April 2018, RBI imposed a banking ban on Indian banks to have a relationship with crypto companies. But the same banking ban was lifted in 2018 by a Supreme Court decision, and because of which the Indian banks were allowed to have business relationships and banking services with an exchange. So what's the conclusion? Trading in cryptocurrencies as on date is absolutely legal. Then what is the problem? Problem is that cryptocurrency is still an illegal tender of money. Means what? Tomorrow if I want to go to a shop and buy a refrigerator, I go to the shop, I tell the shopkeeper, okay, give me this refrigerator, and I'll say that, okay, I'll give you some XYZ amount of bitcoins in return, or XYZ some other cryptocurrency in return. Is that allowed? No, it's not a legal tender. I will have to pay in INR, I'll have to pay in Indian rupees. But then you will say, but illegal na? Khatam. No, wait. You can compare it with something like this. Even if I go to the same shop, I tell that, okay, pack that fridge for me, and I say, I don't have rupees right now. Do one thing, I'll give you 10 Reliance Industries stocks in return. Is that allowed? No, because even stocks are not a legal tender. I hope you have understood the difference between cryptocurrency being legal and cryptocurrency not being allowed as a legal tender in India. Now let's try and understand what is a blockchain. In simple words, blockchain is nothing but comprised of two words, and one is block and the another one is chain, right? Now what's a block? Block is nothing but a database which stores a lot of information. What kind of information? Now let's take the original example that A was sending some cryptocurrency to B. Okay. Now what will that block store? Block will store information like who is the sender, who is the receiver, when was the money sent, and so much more information will be stored in that block, right? Now one more transaction takes place. Let's say X sends another cryptocurrency to Y. Now again that information will be stored in this block, that who sent to whom, at what, whatever. Then M sends to N, A sends to X, whatever. So much information goes on filling in this block. Okay, now this block is full. Another block comes into picture now. Okay, but when this block starts, it will point out to the last transaction. Actually, there are concepts like hash rate or hashing. We are not going to go into details of that. Let's try and understand the essence of what is a blockchain, right? So the second block basically will just point out to the last transaction there, that we are carrying forward, we are continuing basically from here, right? Again, this block will start filling up with a lot of information, correct? Once this block is filled, let's say now the third block starts, but third block will also again point out to the last transaction of the second block. Now all these blocks will be linked, will be tied together with the help of a chain, and that is why this is called as a blockchain. Now the big question, if I were to delete the data from one of the blocks, is that possible? No. Why? Because the third block was pointing out to the end of the second block. If that second block goes away, it will be clearly understood that something is missing. So this cannot happen, and that is why it is said that blockchain is immutable. Now let's try and understand what is Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is nothing but a type of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin was founded in 2008 and it was launched in 2009 by Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto. Like, I'm sure no one knows who Binod is. Similarly, no one knows who Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto is. Well, what is the advantage? I'll tell you. I can just compare it something like this, that we have promoters for a company. Similarly, the promoter of this Bitcoin is like Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto. Now you can imagine that if something happens to the promoter of the company, then what will happen to the share prices of that company? They are going to go down drastically. Similarly, if something happens to Mr. Satoshi, then what? But we don't know whether he's alive or not also. So that danger is anyways away, right? Today, Bitcoin is one of the most popular coins among the cryptocurrency spaces all over the world. Wondering how a Bitcoin looks like? That's how it looks like. Okay, I'll just show it to you. 1 minute. Uh, well, it can't be held physically in your hand. Why? It's a digital currency. Well, I hope you have understood what is Bitcoin very nicely. Now, one or two more fun facts about Bitcoin. What do you think? How is the supply of Indian rupee? Is it limited or unlimited? Correct answer is it's unlimited. Whenever government wants, it can print more and more Indian rupees. What about Bitcoins? Is the supply limited or unlimited? The supply is limited. There are exactly 21 million Bitcoin all over the world. Okay, but out of that, in circulation, there are 18.6 million approximately Bitcoins which are in circulation right now. Now let us move on with how a Bitcoin transaction actually takes place, right? So let us say our old example where A transfers Bitcoins to B. That's where a new transaction will be entered. Now what happens? This transaction will have to be verified by someone. Like you remember the bank example, if A sends money to B, then there'll be a bank in between. That bank will verify this transaction. But in Bitcoins, in crypto, do we have any intermediary? No, no intermediary is there. Then who will verify this transaction? Now you can imagine there are thousands of people all over the world who are there, who are wanting to verify this transaction. These people are called as miners. Okay, now what happens is that whenever A person sends Bitcoin to B, no one will say that in plain English. That will be written in some cryptic language. Okay, now you can imagine this is like some mathematical problem which someone can see something like that. Okay, now these miners who are all over the world, thousands of people who are all over the world, they will try to solve this maths problem. Okay, when this now big question, how will they solve this? Using pen and paper? No. Using a normal laptop? No. All these are very like very very powerful computers that they'll require. Supercomputers, very high computing power computers will be required to actually solve these mathematical problems. Now once they solve this problem, what will happen is they will have to get something in return as a reward. That is where we say that they are mining the Bitcoin. Okay, so in simple words, someone is verifying the transaction. Oh, free of cost karega kya? Nahi, some reward will have to be given to that person, and that reward is in the nature of giving him more Bitcoins. But these Bitcoins are mined. No one will transfer Bitcoin to them as such, right? Now the big question, should one invest or not? Wait, first you have to understand how volatile Bitcoin has been in the past and also in the present. Just to give you few stats, in December 2017, it had touched the then high around $19,000 for one Bitcoin. Then it went down and down and down, entered into a bear market, and it touched a low of almost $4,000 per Bitcoin in March 2020. And since then, like stocks have rallied like anything, even Bitcoin rallied a long way to, believe it or not, roughly $42,000 per Bitcoin. Currently, as I'm shooting the video, the Bitcoin is trading around $36,000 for one Bitcoin. So I hope by now you might have understood that it is a very volatile cryptocurrency. Now the big question, that are you spelling it properly? Are you saying it properly? $36,000 for one Bitcoin. How on earth will I be able to invest even for one Bitcoin? It is possible. Wait, you need not buy one Bitcoin. Can you buy it in fractions? Yes. So for example, can you buy zero point 0.1 share of Reliance Industries? No, you can't. But can you buy 0.1 Bitcoin? Answer is yes. So buying in fractions is allowed. Okay, wait. But then the big question is that whether I should buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency for that matter, out of all these, which should I choose? I think that, like I say in stock market, don't go for small caps. Go for large caps, which are comparatively known, which have a proven track record. Similarly, if I'm talking about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency which has the largest market cap, and alone Bitcoin has more than 65% of the total market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies put together. But then if you ask me my personal opinion, I would want to invest a small amount of money, which I always call as a party fund. That will depend on everyone's risk appetite. So for me, it can be 5,000 rupees. For you, it can be 10,000. For someone else, it could be 500 rupees also. So that depends on how much risk you are ready to take. that can be a small amount with which you may start your journey in investing in cryptocurrencies. I would like to thank CoinDCX for helping me to make this video about cryptocurrencies. If you are in India and if you want to invest in cryptocurrencies, then you can surely check out their app, which is CoinDCX Go by CoinDCX, which is India's largest and safest cryptocurrency exchange. Well, if you want to still learn more about cryptocurrencies, they have a free learning platform which is DCX Learn. If you are a beginner in cryptocurrencies and if you want to try, then you can surely check out their app, which is CoinDCX Go app, which makes investing easy, quick, and seamless using Indian rupees. To download the CoinDCX Go app, follow the link in the pinned comment. And if you're a pro, then you can surely check out CoinDCX, which is helpful for investing in more complicated products like margin trading, futures, contracts, lending, staking, etc. Well, few key features of CoinDCX app are instant order settlement, high liquidity, low risk. Why? Because you can start investing with as low as 10 rupees and you can start depositing with as low as 100 rupees. Its KYC is fast and safe because it is AI enabled. It has multiple layers of security to ensure fund safety, and it is also backed by BitGo custodian. Now the grand finale question, where do you store these cryptocurrencies? Possibility number 1, you can store it with the exchange, wherein you can also earn some interest on that. Possibility number 2, you can store them in hardware wallets. They look something like this, like a pen drive, but this is password protected. There's an amazing fun fact that there is a US programmer who has actually forgotten his password to his hardware wallet, and he has only 2 attempts left to access his $300 million Bitcoin fortune. I hope you have understood and enjoyed this small session on cryptocurrencies. If you have liked it, don't forget to share it with your friends. If you want to learn more from me, do let me know in the comment section. Till then, take care, Jai Hind, and bye bye.